Egypt is the host nation of this year's United Nations Climate Change Conference. The summit, also known as COP27, has managed to gather a lot of attention as the world struggles to deal with the consequences of the climate crisis. In the latest, the sponsor of this year's climate summit has been put under the scanner by the environmentalists. You must have heard and seen the company and heard about and know about the company named Coca Cola, also described as the world's top polluter by an environmental group. According to them, the summit acts as a greenwash event for the multi-billion-dollar company. Break Free from Plastic, a global alliance of organizations and individuals, saying Coca Cola sponsoring the COP27 is pure greenwash, as the company is one of the world's biggest users of plastic. According to the environmental group, over the course of 4 years in their annual brand audits, they have found the company to be the world's top plastic polluter. Moreover, environmental campaigners describe the partnership as baffling. According to Oceans Campaign Director at Greenpeace USA, Coca-Cola produces 120 billion throwaway plastic bottles a year, and 99% of plastics are made from fossil fuels, which eventually worsens the ongoing climate crisis. Meanwhile, despite the accusations, the multi-billion-dollar company has said that their support for COP27 is in line with their science-based target to reduce absolute carbon emissions by 25% by 2030, and also with their ambition for net zero carbon emissions by the year 2050. For more on this, with me on the broadcast is Georgia Elliott-Smith from London. She is an environmentalist and an ex-UNESCO Special Envoy for Youth and Environment. Thanks very much for being here on WION World is One. I have to ask you first for your reaction to this sponsorship, Coca-Cola sponsoring the COP27 summit. What do you make of that?
Yeah, well, I'm absolutely horrified by it, as I think many people are. And that was why I started the petition the day after it was announced to call on the United Nations to eject Coca Cola as their sponsor and also to stop major polluters sponsoring these sorts of conferences.
Tell us more about the impact that you say and have been talking about that these companies have had when it comes to the climate crisis.
So we know that plastic packaging is the largest growing use of fossil oil. And in fact, the UN Environment Programme predicts that by 2050, the plastic production will account for 20% of oil consumption. Coca-Cola is the leader, terrible title in this context, but the top of the charts when it comes to pollution. They've been named year after year as the world's biggest polluter, and they frequently target markets that have no formal waste collection program. And so it means that these bottles are being disposed of open bonfires, they're being littered, they're being disposed of in irresponsible ways, not the fault of the people, but the fault of those who are marketing and selling into these economies, while on the other hand, they're also lobbying against deposit return schemes in those countries and other ways that the pollution might be reduced.
Right, and since you mentioned that you also started that petition and the kind of pressure campaign that is already building up on that front, are you optimistic that there will be a U-turn as far as this decision on the sponsorship goes?
I don't know. I mean, I really do hope that we can get them to, this is the COP organisers, get them to reverse the decision. Unfortunately, I know what it's like. I know the power of the greenwash, and already Coke has come out saying that they're part of the solution. What I want to do with this petition is to galvanise those people like me who are really shocked by this decision and this terrible oversight by those at the United Nations who seem to think think that this is appropriate. I think what we really need is an outcry to show those decision makers that they need to be far more careful and to call out the greenwash of these major polluters where we see it and show that it hasn't gone unnoticed. So whether or not we can get them to reverse the decision, I don't know. I hope that we can. But I really want to focus attention on the organisers and say, do not take corporate sponsorship at all. These are supposed to be conferences of international leaders coming together to agree the future of the planet. They should not be multi-million circuses for corporate lobbyists and polluters. And I'm afraid that choosing Coca Cola, the world's top plastic polluter, as the sponsor of this event is just completely inappropriate and disrespectful.
And we are leaving it there for the moment. Thanks very much for being here on the broadcast.
Thank you.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.